What does a coach actually do? How do you help people? What does that look like? I think that would be interesting to know because we have lots of coaches
Yeah.
on and we've never really discussed that.
Did you push record?
Thanks for joining us on Second Act TV. I want to welcome back Joni Caldwell Lerner, the motivational coach and life strategist. Joni, thanks so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome. I'm happy to be here.
You know, Joni, I you've been on lots of times. We'll link to all of our previous segments. Great advice. We'll also link to your podcast, Spiritual Aliveness with
Yay.
Joni. You are a coach who helps people in their second act primarily. What does a coach actually do? How do you help people? What does that look like? I think that would be interesting to know because we have lots of coaches
Yeah.
on and we've never really discussed that. What are the
Yeah.
most common life issues, if you will, that people, men and women our age, come to see you about?
It's interesting. This is actually, I'm glad, such good questions. So, a lot of the women that come to me in their 50s, let's say mid 50s, they're entering what's called the second Saturn return. So, the first Saturn return happens around 27, 28, 29. And if you look back, it might have been a volatile period for you. And a lot of like Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, they all died at 27 because it's a very volatile time where people are confronted with what they haven't handled and they have to navigate that somehow. So in our 50s, people come to me and they're a little confused. Who am I now? Kids are gone. Maybe the marriage is different or whatever it is, things have changed. Who am I now? And then as they approach 60, it's what is the legacy that I'm leaving?
Mm.
So it's really about creating, as a life strategist, what's the strategy? What's the strategy? What's going to get you out of bed in the morning? Like, yes, it's another day. And I'm serious about that. What is the exciting or compelling thing that you're going to do in a month, a year, 5 years? What are the speed bumps, which are usually limiting beliefs? What are they? Let's unpack them. Let's deconstruct them. Let's get rid of them, flatten them, neutralize them, and go back to high five.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Well, and of course, starting over, one of the big topics here is dating and relationships. And I know you do a lot of dating coaching too, right? How does
Yes,
that work?
absolutely.
How do you help somebody with that? Find love again?
Well, so the relationship thing is fascinating to me, and having gone through it personally in the last 5 years, really, in terms of divorce, dating for the first time. Oh my gosh, am I ugly? Am I pretty? Am I attractive? There's so many beliefs that men are going to want younger women, or women only want a sugar daddy, or all these beliefs that are. So we unpack those. Where did they come from? Is it true? Because a lot of times it just came from one experience or a tunnel vision perspective. Because here's the other thing that we do in coaching. So most people stand here and they're seeing life this way. And I say, what if you stand over here? How does life look from there? Because you have the power to stand wherever you freaking want in your own life.
Hmm.
So that's how, can you tell I'm passionate about what I do?
Well, it does. I honestly, I've talked about life coaching. I have life coaches on. We've never really unpacked, if you will, what that involves and why that is so valuable, to be. And I
Yeah,
know
it's
there's a million
incredible.
coaches out there, and who is right for you. I
Right.
don't know how to assess that, quite frankly.
Right, right. So every life coach is different, and you can't throw a stone without hitting one in the head. I mean, they're just everywhere. And so the idea for a coach is to open their eyes to a different possibility, and to provide skills and life hacks for different things. And I'll send them articles, I'll send them YouTube videos. I just want them to have their most exciting, most amazing lives. I don't care how they get there. So I'm constantly sharing tools and people and ideas.
You had sent me some questions what you see, like a common threat, or some of the ones that really stand out. And one that gosh I it talks about a woman who wanted, she wanted love again. She went online and she had such shame because she wanted to be
Mm,
loved so much. She just didn't recognize red flags and ended up giving all her money away, which is one of the big, we've done videos on that, of course, on online dating scams, and look out for that. That's tough. I mean, what other stuff have you heard that is just
well, I actually want to address that one for a second because we have done things and you've done other segments with other people on online dating and catfishing and all that. The most important part of that is you don't have to carry around the baggage of the shame and guilt, right? How could I not have known? How could I have not seen what was going on? I just wanted to be loved so badly. So so the key there is how do you find love in healthy, safe ways and learn to listen to your inner self and learn to love yourself such that you go online and somebody asks you for a nickel, you go, I don't think so, you know? So it's about working with a person from underneath. There is zero, this is the other thing, and it's huge, and I mean it like from the core of my being. There is zero judgment of anyone's story, situation, what they say, where they want to go, where they've been. Zero judgment. And people need that environment. And here's the other thing, you asked about the coaching. One of the reasons it works and we need it, I have a mentor. I will always have a mentor, right? Because me in here is just me in here. It's like being in the blender and you're flying around with all the,
right.
whatever's in the blender, the strawberries and the spinach and whatever. You can't see the ingredients because your eyeballs are in the blender. So we have somebody wise that has something we want, who resonates with us, who can say, here's what I see, here's what I hear, and maybe not do that, maybe do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you cannot fix your brain with your own brain. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, and here's another question that I had is working with a coach, like you just said, there's zero judgment, people can open up, you hear things, that are quite confidential. Are you also bound to be everything is confidential like a psychiatrist or
Oh my God.
psychologist?
Well, okay, so it is a vault. This is a vault. This is a safe space. And if it's not, then I can't pull forth from them what needs to come forth so that they can be free.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some extraordinary things happen in sessions, and I just in my head I'm going, okay, God, just let me say what you want me to say. Let me be who you want me to be. Let me do what you want me to do, because these are like profound things, and we're remote, right? And so I've got to hold the space so they can process what they need to process, and be able to at the end feel better and be set, right?
What then should people look out for? Again, I'm looking at the practical side of this. I mean,
Sure.
obviously, if people were, I would always recommend you. I know you. You're fabulous. But are there
Okay.
questions to ask? How do you know? No, this person isn't right. I think that's important.
If somebody says something that makes sense to you, how you feel about the person, how you feel having talked to them will give you an insight. It will give you the truth. Not about what they say exactly, but are they arrogant? Are they righteous? Are they, whatever it is? And maybe somebody needs that. I don't know, but it's what resonates with you. Do you feel safe? Are you making progress? Does what they're saying make sense? And you're not married to them. You could find someone else as well. Now, if you don't have, let's say, the funds, because there'll be people out there who say, yeah, I'd love to get a coach, but first of all, the range of prices is all over the place. That may be an element in choosing. But what I tell people is whatever it is you want to work on, find resources. They can be free. You can go, you can go to, I don't know, meetings. You can go to meetups. You can go online. Um, there are a lot of tools out there that are inexpensive or free. As long as you're moving forward, you don't need a coach, but if that's exciting to you and you can and it makes sense, great, do it. But find something to move yourself forward. Could be a book, could be podcasts. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how podcasts saved my life during the pandemic and lockdown. I can't even tell you how many I listened to. So find your vehicle that resonates with you
Yeah.
and move a little bit forward.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting subject. Again, the whole coaching industry has blown up, probably over the
Mm-hmm.
last 10 years, and it's very valuable. It's very
Longer.
valuable.
Yeah.
So I thank you for having this conversation with us today. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with on that topic before we sign off?
What you just said just triggered an idea in my head. It used to be you had to be messed up and go to a therapist in order to get help. And that's not true today. There are so many ways to enhance your life, to enhance your experience. That's really create aliveness, create aliveness. That's my mission, right? And it's very personal. So I would just say, do what makes sense to you. And you don't have to share it with anybody. It's nobody else's business what you're doing. Okay. And that's in life in general. It's nobody else's business. You don't want to give them something to judge. And by the way, if they're judging, that means they judge themselves. And that's very sad for them.
Well, it's with all the mental health topic just on top of
Mm-hmm.
mind now as it's just exploding
Sure.
everywhere. It's
Mm-hmm.
great that coaching is accessible and perhaps more affordable than the other ways. And as you said, there's lots of free stuff. Joni, thank you so much for all your great advice. I always look forward to having you back. We'll link to all of your information. If somebody does want a free session with Joni, that link will be in the show notes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Joni will
Thanks.
look forward to seeing you again on Second Act TV.
All right. Always a pleasure, Silka.
If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. The button is right here. Just click on through to YouTube, and when you see the little bell right next to the subscribe button, hit that too, and we'll notify you every time we launch a new video. See you next time.